Got some more agendas. Do we have any extra? We got everybody got the agenda.
Here, you can have Randy, make one.
Agenda ready.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Here comes Russell. All right, hand me that one. Russell, did you bring an agenda? He's already brought his, he's on the ball.
Not Russell is on the ball. At the end of the table there, Russell.
So you want this one?
Okay. It's 5:30 by the official clocks everybody uses, so here we go. Hope everybody's having a good day today. If you see anybody up there that we need to admit on the Zoom, we will. And I am recording this, so we can, Diane, you can use it if you need it on your minutes. We'll get that to wherever we can find the appropriate place to store that. We can do that.
Okay.
So, see, Mr. Doug Combs is ready to admit, and now hang on, I got it, Douglas. I got it.
You got it.
Now that the mouse is working. Is everybody signed in on the committee? They signed the sheet. All right. Y'all sign, the guest will sign. Darlene, if you'll take it around, please. Thank you. All right. Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Oh, forget. Brandon.
Here.
Karen. Here. Randy.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
Brent.
Here.
Wayne.
Here.
Brady.
Here. So we do have a quorum. All members are present tonight. So excellent. Okay, we go to the first item on is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Randy Gannon to approve the agenda. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Seconded by Ms. Karen Ashford. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect. All voted for approving the agenda. So the consent agenda. Two items on the consent agenda. Approve the revised minutes of the June 30th, 2020 meeting and approve the minutes of the August 20th, 2020 regular meeting of the committee. And Diane, you want to talk about the corrected?
Because I wasn't here for the last meeting. I mean, June.
Yeah, July. And you have the.
Everybody's got the, you see the Tuesday, July 21st one, and you got a corrected minutes from the June 30th. Is that it was looking at what we had to approve there was not mentioned, but it was done in the meeting. A motion was made by Randy Gannon to approve the revised implementation plan, seconded by Russell Rigg. Everybody voted for it, and y'all signed it. So that was done. We just needed to make sure that that was in the minutes of the special called June 30th meeting.
You have the August minutes. I gave them to you.
Okay, well, I'm looking, but
yeah.
Are they okay? The August minutes are right here in front of you too. If you'll pass those out, Arlene, you want to pass them, or you want to just hand them down? Here we go. I can pass them on down. Make sure Brent gets a copy over here. Brent gets a copy. And okay, I've got a copy too. So
I emailed them to y'all too.
Yes.
okay, do we need to go ahead and do the July? Do we need to add that July 21st one since Karen was out? Do we need to go ahead and add that?
Yes, because we didn't have.
All right, for editorial license, if that's okay, I'll add the July 21st, 2020. And if you'll do the same, it's on yours, Diane, we'll add the July 2020, July 21st meeting, excuse me.
Okay.
2020, say that about 10 times. Okay, everybody okay with consent on that to go ahead and add the July 21st? So you got three of the minutes to approve, the June 30th, July 21st, and August 20th. Okay, any comments in regard to the approving the revised minutes of the June 30th, July 21st, and August 20th meetings of the committee? Your motion vote to approve all three?
Motion. Yeah. I'll make a motion.
Okay. Motion is made by Mr. Brent Bush to approve the minutes of the June 30th, and July 21st, and August 20th meeting of the board. Is there a second? Meeting of the committee, excuse me.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Russell Reed. Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Brent Brandon,
Yes.
Karen Asher,
Yes.
Russell Reed,
Yes.
Randy Gaines,
Yes.
Brent Bush,
Yes.
Wayne Hancock,
Yes.
Brady Carter.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, old business. The only item on old business that we had was to approve the updated financial management policies and procedures manual, including the new bid procedures. All right. So Diane, any your comments on the revised policy, particularly the new bid procedures?
The only difference is that the commission will not be approving the bids, they'll just be approving the money. And you guys will only verify that we were in compliance with the bid process. That way, the finance director and the department head basically will approve the bids.
So as long as the money's in the budget, and as long as we approve the process.
That'll streamline,
That's what we discussed last time.
that'll streamline the efficiency greatly. So with example, if the Kankakee Board of Education, which we do have an item there, we did an audit bid, and the board approved the audit bid, then it goes to Diane, she approves, it's over, it's done, and it's
And
implemented.
it does say that they'll be presented to the finance committee, just like you said, for compliance.
And all you do is say, here were the bids and here was it is. It's more of a report
Right.
than it is a deal for action. And we can do that as part of the consent agenda from here on out, is put bids that were processed. Would that be the right word? Diane, processed, I guess, after,
I guess so, yeah.
as long as all procedures are followed, then there you go. And that bid procedure is on page 16 in your manual. That didn't change it, Diane, the process right there, none of that changed. The chart.
Well, yeah, we just changed the, where it says the finance department head will approve the bid. That did say respective boards and then the finance committee. So those two lines there changed. That was it.
So can you get us a new chart and then we can use that as this one that we got?
Mhm.
Okay,
And I got you last time, yeah.
this was the one last time.
Right.
Okay, it's that shows the problem procedure. Okay. Okay, additional comments in regard to the bid procedure? I like the streamline of it. I don't know, as one department head, I'm sure Wayne likes it too, but all his stuff. Wayne, what do you have any comments there about?
No, I like it.
Okay, so Brent, you're the other department head here.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's great.
Okay. So I hear a motion that we approve the revised, updated financial management. Anything else changed in that, Diane, from last month? This month?
Well, I just, like I told y'all last time, I took out, if we already had a policy like debt management, fund balance, if we had a policy, I took all those out so that there was no worry about that, them contradicting each other. And then all those policies, all those debt management, the fund balance, cash management, those need to be relooked at, I think, every year. So probably bring those before the commission in November.
And one thing we might do, committee, is when the new committee comes on in October, one thing I would suggest is I know at the board, what we do, we review certain policies, at certain months. We review certain policies, make sure this policy, so you got 10 chapters there, or well, you've really not got that 10 chapters. You got the chapter 8, and then you move on to chapter 10. There's no really chapter 9, and there's no really chapter 7, so you really only got,
Oh, that's just numbered wrong. I'm correct.
I was fixing to say.
Yeah, that just needs to be 8, 9.
Okay, so it's 8, so.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What
7.
about 7?
7 and 8.
So it's 7 and 8 then,
Sorry, I
so.
didn't catch
Well, I did just then. I didn't look
that.
at the
I'll
later.
correct that.
Okay, I thought there may have been other chapters that we're just not doing or whatever.
I had
So you got 8 chapters, so it's just 8 months, and you got 4 months that you don't have to do any review at all. So you might want to look at a schedule of reviews of board and you can review any part of this at any moment. That's just like the school board, we can move anything at any time, but what you're saying to the community and to your constituents is that you're reviewing this every month. There's something's being reviewed.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a good policy to review your policies. If you're not reviewing your policy, you don't know what you're doing anyway.
keeps you looking at it. So.
Okay, additional comments in regarding financial management policies and procedures manual. Dan, in the next reviews, for the next copy we get, we'll do that revision. And do the revision in that bid deal. All right. Do you hear a motion?
Do we need to make a motion?
Do we need to make a motion that this was, yeah, I would probably do that since there was changes in this. Motion made by Mr. Brent Bush to accept the new updated financial management policies and procedures manual. Seconded by Brent Brandon. Call the roll. Madam Secretary.
Brandon.
Yes.
Karen Nash.
Yes.
Russell Williams.
No.
Brandon Gaines.
Yes.
Brent Bush.
Yes.
Wayne Hancock.
Yes.
Brady Curtis.
Yes. Motion carried. All right. Let's go to the next item. We did not have to do number 4 since we just did number 3.
Unless you just want to go over it was advertised in the paper. There was 2 bids. We went with the lowest bid. It was actually under $10,000, so it didn't really even have to be bid.
But by procedure, the board's been doing that for Douglas a long time. I give that as long as you've been here.
Yeah.
But the board, Randy was here a little bit longer. That's all. I think that was just mainly for the public because you had some local accountants that were bidding and they wanted to make sure that process was transparent.
Yeah, so the process would be to put monies in the account. It's been bid if it was over $10,000. And we approved that the bid process was completed.
Right.
Okay. So we need to make a motion.
I don't think you have to
You
vote.
don't have to vote on number 4 at all because we've already done that. So,
All right.
and then Diane's will has already approved that and we're good. So at this point on, then that bid will take effect. All right, good deal. Okay, number 5, discussion and possible action regarding transferred County Board of Education employees, benefits and schedule. We've added that. If you've got, Douglas, Darlene, do you have that paper? You'd like to pass those out at this point? And Douglas, I will, with Diane's permission, let him address the committee.
Well, this is the third go round on this. We thought we had it worked out twice. In the beginning, we made a trip to Sparta with Diane to see how White County implemented that and does it. They've been on it quite some time. And we saw how they did it, and we went to the Board of Education. Diane didn't go, but Darlene and Shannon and I went. We saw how they did it on their end, and so we started working toward that end. Diane was working toward that end on her deal, and she was interviewing people for the jobs, and we thought we had it worked out. And then Mr. Curtis gets a call from the comptroller's office, and they told him that no, you can't do it that way, that they have to go to the finance office. And so Mr. Curtis asked, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, I'm just remembering what you told me about the conversation. He said, well, why can we not do it like White County? And the answer was, we're not White County. This is County, and this is how you're going to have to do it. So that kind of changed everybody's plans. And well, we got Diane down here. She'd already hired Neil at that point, I think. And we talked about it. Darlene and I and Mr. Curtis met with Diane, and we said that we would be, we'd like to go to that office, because the comptroller says we need to. And we would like to go for our same salary and benefits. We're not trying to gain anything. We're not trying to lose anything. And so I assumed, I guess wrongly, that was worked out, but anyway, it wasn't. If you look at that sheet, of course, you can see the benefits that we've gotten at the board. And the last thing is the medical insurance. If on the county plan, this year alone will cost Darlene and I $2,100 and some odd dollars more each for the first year. And that's because we're just on 10 months this year. And next year, 12 months, it'll be $2,542 more. And we thought we had a deal worked out where the board would reimburse the county finance office to make up the difference in what we would have paid if we had still been at the board. So this is what we're asking for. We're not asking for anything we didn't have to start with. Darlene's been here
almost going on 25 years.
25 years. I've been here 11. And we're just asking to keep what we've got.
And Ward Bernard, who I talked to with the state when we made the comments from the comptroller's office, stated to me that they could be grandfathered in, and she used the word grandfathered in, for the same amount of benefits and of funding. And then she suggested at some point in the future, if they were to retire or whatever, then you would redo whoever they hired. Then you would redo, they'd start out with whatever the deal was with the finance director at that point. And they would not get the same amount as what our two grandfathered employees was. She said other districts had done that in the past, had grandfathered them in when this occurred. So that was her solution for our situation.
And when I first met with Douglas and Arlene, Mr. Curtis, I wasn't opposed to this, but then after I had a few months to think about it, I just was concerned about, Neil and Regina don't have those same benefits, neither do other county employees. And that was my thing, was that I just didn't feel like it was fair to them. So that's why they're here. But I do realize, they have been forced to do this. So I don't know what the answer is, but.
That's where Diane and I were talking, and I said, okay, let's bring it before the committee then, and let the committee take action upon this. But unlike others I'll use Neil for an example. Mr. Applebaum was hired by the new finance director. Diane, yes, hired them, but they were basically told by the comptroller, yes, you will go. And so that's a difference between Mr. Applebaum and Regina Mullins, who was hired also. That's the difference, is that these folks were said, you are going. And to me, that's different. That's different than if you hired them brand new off the street, because you guarantee you're not going to, and I can speak from experience, you're not going to find a Douglas Jennings just right off the street, in my opinion, that knows as much about our school budget as what Mr. Jennings knows. And you will not find anybody across the street with 25 years of experience that knows federal, and federal is a whole different animal. I think your other department heads can tell you that federal is a whole lot different than regular. Plus, Darlene also has experience as being the food service employee and those in regard food service. So you're not going to find any two employees with that set of job skills or job sets either. So the word grandfather is what, is to me a term that can be utilized to at least two employees decide to say, we've had enough, we're going to the house. I don't know which term would be the most appropriate term
Can I ask,
there.
Diane, do you know, does, on sick leave, does every county employee get 1 day per month,
We get 4 hours, a half a day.
a half a day? Because that's what we get too, is a half a day. And I know the sheriff's department does.
What's the road highway department get?
They don't get.
They don't get any sick days.
Exactly.
I don't know what the ambulance service getting different.
Nope. They're not. We're the same.
They probably get a half.
County employees get a half a day of vacation unless you've been here for 5 years, and then you get a full day.
So I get 2 weeks. That's the most we can get a vacation at 911.
We can only earn up to 30 days. I think y'all can earn up to 20.
20. I had 4 weeks when I was at the sheriff's department. And when I moved, I lost my 2 weeks. So
What's
I
the,
get back.
sorry, go ahead,
No, so I'm good.
status on the medical insurance? What is the boards of education? Are they still,
With the state plan, they do have an option to go to another plan in, what is it, the open enrollment period, October? Yeah,
Still
same,
the state plan though.
still, yeah, this is a different part of the state plan. Teacher plan, and with the employees, the non licensed employees or non-certified employees. Douglas, talk about that just for a second. On that, I get Shannon, I gotta get Shannon, I guess, to be
It's all the same,
implicit.
except if a teacher retires, if they reach Medicare age, the state will pay 45% of their insurance. But that's not a benefit that we would have gotten,
Non-certified.
but we're not certified. It's just certified teachers.
And this doesn't address retirement. I don't see where, I don't know what the difference in the county retirement and the,
It's the same.
TCRS
Same
and
rate,
all of them.
everything.
Well, some-
Teachers have a different retirement rate.
well, post 2014 teachers, right?
What's that?
Post 2014 higher age teachers have a different.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah, then they have that hybrid
They
deal,
have a hybrid,
and then the new deal that they've got.
right, but the legacy ones are still under that. Well, this is problematic countywide, really.
Mhm.
And it goes across all departments.
Has the school board agreed to reimburse the county finance office the difference?
That will be under discussion with the new board, since we had a new board, that will be under discussion with them. Although we just sent, I can hear the chairman now, we sent $104,000.
But that was not enough to cover for them to get it at what you get it now. That was,
Because there was 60%, they went, Douglas was 60%, and Darlene's was 60%.
well, and I figured up that, if I calculated this right, what the county's paying, like if Douglas had already paid what they're paying now, like $50, would be about $7,600 short on that, for that contribution. And that's this year, because see, theirs didn't start till October 1, and their payroll didn't start till August 1, so next year it would be more than that difference.
So who came up with this, the board will reimburse the county finance office this amount?
That was done under the previous board. And so we would go with, I'd go with what the board said this next month. We put it on the agenda to say we need to increase that amount, what is agreed, so that would go.
The previous board agreed to this.
They agreed to the $104,000, which was 60%.
Now,
of
this medical
Douglas's salary.
insurance, the medical insurance. So the previous board agreed.
And that was in, that
with
was
this
in,
statement here with medical insurance, right? All right, and what was her name? The state comptroller called?
Mhm.
Or did the board revote on her saying no?
The board was apprised. I don't think the board ever pleaded, but the board was apprised of that situation.
Okay.
Because they're my employees. They're not the board employees. They're the director's employees.
But a deal like this would need board approval
Absolutely.
from the previous board. So when she said no, that basically just kicked everything off the table.
Correct. Correct. Exactly. And then she
How
said,
can she say no?
well, the comptroller can say, this is what's got to happen. They've got to go. They cannot.
Since they can dictate where this county, what they have to do.
Correct, correct. Because she knew our budget situation. She knew our budget situation that we could not afford those employees.
Can I bring up a point? During one of these meetings, we talked with the lawyer, and the lawyer said that we didn't have to go to that office and we didn't have to pay anything to that office.
Correct.
The finance office.
Correct.
And so
And then they reversed.
why did they turn around and say?
And they reversed. They turned right around and he talked to the comptroller's office and said, this is what we want.
I talked to the lawyer who actually wrote the 1981 Act. He's retired now, and she worked for CTAS, and there's about, I don't know, 10 or 15 different amalgamations,
Versions.
19 versions of the 1981 Act across the state. So there's not one.
There's no consistency.
So nobody knows.
Right. The idea was, though, to centralize all financial operations within your county government, centralize it under one department. That's the idea. The rest is
The rest is up to the county.
kind of how, pretty much how we want to do it.
But then she said, no, you can't do it like that.
He said, they need to go. That was her words to me implicitly. They got to go.
And a portion of the money with them.
Correct.
Did she say that too?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we worked out the deal on what percentage was that Douglas does physical services. Again, the Board of Education is paying for physical services. So we said, how much is Douglas doing physical services? And how much is Darlene doing physical services? How much does Teresa Lewis do physical services? And how much does Shannon Bacon do physical services? And that came out to little, just right under 2 positions, 2-point-something positions. So
I'm
that's
just
what we said.
curious if we need to kind of have an attorney look at some of this, because what I'm concerned with, and it may not happen. But at some point, you know, if you have varying employees with different packages for benefits, then you could find yourself open to a lawsuit. I don't know which department, and you know, we got to somehow or other categorize employees in categories where we can actually protect ourselves and say, well, this is their package, and you know, it's kind of like a contract with the individual, and you work under this department and this department this way. Are we trying to centralize it all under something with some kind of ban? I mean, I don't know. Like you say, we already got half. You know, we already got somebody getting half annual leave and somebody getting a full day. And, you know, just kind of look at the disparity. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, they are kind of separated anyway because they're salaried, and that's the difference between salaried and hourly.
Okay, good. That's a good point.
But it's still, everything needs to be a little bit more consistent. But in a salaried position, you do bargain and negotiate, or what I've been accustomed to doing. You bargain and negotiate everything within your job. That would be vacation, salary, benefits, everything.
But there's lots of salaried employees that
Mhm.
could do that.
But, yeah, but
if that's the case.
I don't know, I agree. Well, basically, I'm going, I agree, because I'm not familiar, because everybody likes to keep their salaries to themselves if they're a salaried employee. And benefits too.
Another way you could do the insurance would be to help us keep paying like we're doing right now under the county plan, and then increase our salary enough to make up the difference. That'd be another way you can do it.
So right now, Douglas, y'all are losing about $2,100 under this particular thing. You're losing $2,100 your first year.
We didn't get any more money. We didn't ask for any more money, just for leave, benefits.
And I
Right.
think that, the whole thing with the insurance when we went on the state's plan was for all employees to be on the same
Mhm.
plan and not, how the sheriff and ambulance got theirs.
Yeah.
They did away with all that. So that was I'm just afraid it'll create problems.
From a budgeting standpoint, that was the reason why that way we could actually say this.
Mhm. But I think too, part of that ACA, the Obama thing, was everybody, you couldn't discriminate. So I'm just saying that unless somehow that.
Well, now I think that there is, I think there's, as long as there's money in it, you could do the medical insurance issue. Now the work week and the abbreviated days and the breaks and annual leave, if that's kind of part of a benefit package, sick leave, some of that's got to be reworked because they're different across, various departments. You got highway department doesn't get zero, he gets zero. So our gal, and so we kind of got to address those. We got to address those issues at some point in the future. I think.
Yeah.
We got to revamp it from a hiring personnel policy.
Well, now
And that's kind of what an HR director does.
Now that we're centralized, we can't discriminate against highway department.
Right.
So.
That's why it's key to at some point.
Well, the highway, is it not already discriminated against? They don't get any sick time.
I know,
Right.
but they're separate.
Well, what's the difference in us being separate?
I don't know. You're right. though.
You're right.
Well, we were separate until
Until they made us go
the
to that.
comptroller said,
Well,
you're
made
gonna
us go
do
to-
that.
Made us go to that.
And like I said, the CTAS lawyer will say this was the idea behind it, and the school lawyer says, well, you don't have to do that. And so you got.
And the school lawyer said, I don't have to send you nothing. They sent $104,000. They said, you don't have to send you nothing,
So,
which our board did.
If
Our
we don't
board,
get grandfathered in, we was never gonna negotiated with another pay for our time, our leave we're losing.
and our board did vote to do that. So Randy, going back to your question, the board voted as part of their budget to send $104,000 to the finance department.
Does it state in there that it's to cover this medical insurance?
It covers all expenses, is what, or all 60% for Douglas, 60% for Darlene's salary when it was looked at over physical services, all physical services that were to be paid for by the board.
Can we table this? Do we have to decide tonight?
Saying they're moving to the finance office.
When do we have to make a decision by?
Officially, they moved on August 1, but
Yeah, they're actually physically moving the week of the
When the
12th.
data gets merged.
Yeah, October 12th, that week, sometime
Well,
that
and
week.
then you got fall break. That's for schools. That's the middle of August, October.
Mhm.
And the October meeting's the 15th.
So it's gonna be right
right
there.
before that.
Mhm.
Oh, but I thought we was moving on the 12th.
Well, yeah.
Your meeting on August the 15th, October the 15th, for the October meeting of the board, of the commission, excuse me.
But yet the comptroller kicked this out, right?
No, they've not. I don't think the comptroller's office can make the decision.
No, this medical insurance thing.
Now, the comptroller didn't say yea or nay. He said, that's up to you and your county to decide, or Bernard did. She said, yeah, it's up to you and the county to make that adjustment to roll it. She said, in the past, when this has been done, they have been grandfathered in. And she didn't go any further than tell them grandfathered.
Her point to me was, remember, it was about the function. The function comes to the county.
Correct.
The function of finance in the schools comes to her office.
Correct. All things fiscal.
Right. All things.
All things fiscal are handled by the combined office.
you're losing that requirement.
Correct. And we are, but Douglas does other things besides, my argument is on that part, Douglas does other things, just like Abby does other things than just writing, doing the checks or whatever. Douglas does other things than that, and that stayed with the board. Darlene does, for example, our background checks and our drug testing. That's part of her job responsibilities. I'll have to move that over to other personnel then to do.
To the comptroller's dismay, we have 95 different experiments. Maybe more than that.
Well, you get city governments, you throw the city governments in that, you're gonna have a whole lot more than
So we're
95.
gonna, Thomas Jefferson proud, but, let's see how much confusion we can create for higher state, and that's all they, I hate to say it, but really, they just want to have one shot stop. That's really what
Right.
they're after. They just want to go to one place, one office.
Yeah,
national
because
place.
she had told me at some point, they don't care about the process. They just want you
They just want you to do it.
to do it.
And that's why my county does a certain way, and Bedford County does another way, and Warren County does another way, and
And of course,
Franklin County.
and then in the middle of all that, we've got people involved, and we don't want to hurt them, and so I mean, like I said, if we need to make this decision, I mean, I'm for it. Just tell us what needs to be made.
I don't blame them one bit for fighting to keep their. I mean, like I said, I lost 2 weeks of paid vacation and nothing like that either, but I
So what
lost it.
does that force you to go back and do a budget amendment?
If we do any changes to this right here, this document. Honestly,
Just for their insurance.
yeah, so we'd have to do a budget amendment to plug that money in. You already said you were short. So, I mean, it looks to me like we'd have to put a budget amendment in first before the commission to change this, then we'd have to bring it back to us before we go forward.
But yeah, and then of course the other stuff would have to be considered too. I mean, for y'all to vote on.
Because anything concerning the budget, like that right there, if there's any line changes, has to go before
Right.
the commission, right?
Mhm. Especially when it involves salary or benefits.
But salary benefits.
Freddie, are they gonna reevaluate the medical insurance if they're gonna contribute to that?
You talking about the board?
Mhm.
They'll need to look at that, but I'm thinking, could we move something somewhere for that to take place? I'd be up to, the board to increase that amount and just say that their salaries, I mean, their insurance has gone up that much. However, my question would be, then the school board then is then doing all 100% of their medical then, of their medical insurance. That means the board.
The county pays $400 toward
Right.
it. The board pays 92%,
Okay,
and the difference is $211 and so much a month.
right. $211.84.
a year.
But the old board agreed to it, but you just,
The new board needs to sign off on it, I believe, and
And
saying this is,
Ours is going up in January, so we've got that
Ours is
factored into.
2%, I think.
Y'all went up 2%.
I think that's what.
Ours went 5.4.
Well, of course, I'm on yours now. but
Yeah.
They told us last summer, before it was all finalized, that it would go up 5%. So we put 2.5 in the budget because, it doesn't happen until January.
Mhm.
So it would be what you're saying.
So are we gonna take this back to the commission? Are we gonna discuss this and make decisions? I do have
I think Freddie needs to go in front of the board with it, the new board first, on this insurance.
and I'll just say that, there's a difference in the county plan and what we pay to our employees.
And since the previous board approved it, there is
You
an
can approve it
increase now.
subject to the
To
board's
let the new board be aware of it.
Correct.
The whole board is committed.
They were committed to doing that.
Douglas and Darlene didn't know for sure, what they're gonna stand behind that obligation.
And like, if no decisions made by the time they move, what schedule are they gonna go by? That's-
But technically, they became your employees August 1.
I know, but I can't watch them when I'm upstairs.
But I'll bring this before our board, but again, our board meets on October 8th.
I think we ought to bring it to the commission to issue budget
But you're gonna do that during the November meeting, not by August, by the October 3rd meeting, I believe.
As agenda, we don't have to knock up the third meeting.
Yeah, but October 3rd, it's a Saturday meeting.
Saturday meeting.
Saturday,
Quarterly.
it's a Saturday quarterly meeting.
Lane was telling me today it was in the middle of October. I thought I had it down for October 3rd too. I thought she said it was.
It'll be the second Saturday after the first Monday.
I go by that schedule y'all sent me, and that's what I.
Y'all did change
I
that.
thought we changed that to the first Saturday. in
First Saturday
October.
of every month. is the
You did.
quarterly.
You changed it from the second Saturday to the
Today,
first
but
Saturday.
it was, well, she said something negative. October, in the middle of October Saturday. That's what, I'm serious. She
Well, I'll
told me.
tell her.
Yeah, so I was like, well,
It's
I had it down
October
for 3rd. I had it down for
I
October
think
3rd.
Diane's right on that, because we changed that
To the
first Thursday and the first Saturday.
Just relay.
I'm gonna text her right now, because she has to run that in paper.
I have another meeting. Anything else?
I think that was basically the biggest thing on the agenda for tonight's meeting, so.
Able to keep-
I'm just saying, I'm thinking, because if they're wanting to know, or Diane needs to know what their schedule's gonna be until we make a decision, they'll just be on the same schedule as their other employees. Don't y'all think? Until a decision is
Until the
made.
decision is made, yeah.
And that's the other employees, meaning,
The ones in the
Neil
finance,
and Regina in the
they will
finance,
comply with the finance
Right.
office hours.
because they're her employees now.
Mhm.
This needs to be put back on the agenda for the
for the October 15th meeting.
15th meeting.
So do I hear a motion to table this until the 15th?
Make
This
a motion.
A motion made by Russell Reed to table this to October 15. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Karen, got there first. Yeah. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll revisit that on the 15th, and that will let them know. But again, I would strongly, suggest this. They were unlike any other employees in the county. They were pretty well forced to do this.
We'll keep that in mind.
So that's what I would say to you. Also, I remind the committee that under the first order of business in the October 15th meeting will be to elect a chairman of this committee and your other officers. The chairman and vice chairman, and then the secretary is already done by the policy. So that's Diane. So you will elect a chairman and a vice chairman for this committee. He's done his deal. Would be what I would say. Just little commentary there. Any other finance director report, Ms. Hickman?
Well, I don't really have much to report tonight. Neil's still working on those school consolidation numbers, and he and Freddie are gonna get together tomorrow for some more updated numbers, and that's, everything else is going good.
And you're on schedule for October 12 to merge databases.
We're on schedule.
And what about FlexGen going to NextGen? Are we?
Yes, that's October 1, I think, that they're, yeah, I think they're gonna do that.
I think they've already done fixed assets. I gave them a connection yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I think,
So a lot of work to do in the meantime. The committee the board will be made it having recommendations October 8th meeting. Look for that. I can give you a motion. Third week, October week again. That's what you do. There you go. Third week in October is what you need to do.
It might be too early to ask this question, but going back to the work that Neil is doing, when it's done, what will come of that?
The board will be, the board is really pushing to, this new board is really looking at that issue of restructuring schools. And that issue will be moving quite rapidly through the new board. So many of them are wanting numbers, they want them 2 months ago, whatever, a month ago, whatever they wanted, they don't want to look, they won't look at those figures.
You've been able to get the numbers and stuff that you're needing from the DOE?
I think you should knock out most of what's left tomorrow. So we're close.
So basically, no surprises. It's been kind of smooth with everything. Okay,
Numbers.
numbers, yeah.
Numbers are numbers are numbers, aren't they, Mr. Captain?
I know how you being counted, right?
So that project is quickly moving along, so they're basically waiting on me, and I've got to make some decisions in regard to personnel. So you get your 20 average and then go from there. I'm just giving one example, but from the K through 3.
School board has no policies for that, do they?
State, goes by the state.
It goes by the state.
Max class sizes are the max class sizes by the state of Tennessee. And your averages are the averages done by the state of Tennessee. So they're kind of telling you what to do, but they're not, they're telling you what to do, whether you like it or not. That's the numbers that you got to follow, just like the comptroller said, you work it out and go from there. Okay, anything else? Any new business? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Adjourn, Randy Gann, seconded by Russell Reed. All those in favor say aye. Do it by standing. That's what I like Russell's do, by standing. So thank you very much. We will see you October 15th.
Brady, I've got some
I need to sign, I've got some that I've signed too, so. Do I need to sign those, the official copies?
Rick Bush spent all those years in the military, gets up and did not put his seat back.
Come down to the store.
I know in the mess hall, he put his chair back up. Yeah, but all that training.
I did that.
It was 4 o'clock in the morning runs.
Here's what time I'm doing. I said I wasn't gonna do it. I said I wasn't gonna do it this one. Doing orientation meetings with the board.
Yeah.
Bring the principals.
That's probably what mine would have been.
30 minutes with the board. We've been doing that with all 7 schools and now we're moving to supervisor. This board is convened this first month, 6 months. And this board is very, very, very large for restructuring. Very, very large. Okay, let me turn this off on the recording stuff. All right, we'll do it.